Welcome to Hinged, where faith, health, and personal growth intersect. I'm your host, Toyin Adesola, your guide on this journey. Like a cage supporting a dog, God's word lifts us up in life's challenges. Hello, welcome everybody to another episode of Hinged with yours sincerely, Toyin Adesola. On today's episode, we shall be looking at from pills to thrills, navigating treatment and tricks in illness. And I'm sure a number of us have some kind of chronic illness or chronic pain in terms of the type of health challenges that you have. It could be an autoimmune disease, it could be a chronic condition, whatever it is. I'm going to look through how we can manage these challenges for our day-to-day life so that we can be more productive. Speaking from my own point of view, living with sickle cell and fibromyalgia. Now, sickle cell is the inherited genetic blood disorder. You inherit it from both parents. So typically, the most common of it in these parts of Nigeria is if both parents have the genotype AS, there's a 25% chance that each child born will be living with sickle cell. Now, there are other genotypes that can create sickle cell disease, which are AS and AC. So if one parent is AS, one parent is AC, your child would come out with the genotype SC, which is another form of sickle cell disease. There are also issues of having AA. It's not always possible to read the direct genotype when it comes to some of these genotypes. So when you have AA, you can still have a child with sickle cell if both are likely to have the beta thalassemia gene. So you would need to go and do HPLC genotype test rather than the apheresis genotype test to be sure the exact genotype you or your spouse to be will have, so that you can know whether you're likely to have a child with sickle cell. I was born with sickle cell and been living with sickle cell for a long time. And over the years, I've learned to manage it, apart from the typical hospital things of taking your medication, doing regular checkups, which we'll be going through later on. But along the way, I also with fibromyalgia, which is an autoimmune disease. Some people have lupus, some people have chronic fatigue syndrome, some people have other types of autoimmune disease, as well as living with sickle cell or any other condition, whether it's cancer, diabetes, so on and so forth. Fibromyalgia is a long-term condition that causes pain throughout the body. It is a chronic condition that affects people of any age. The exact cause is not known. So basically, what happens is management through drug, management through exercise and things like that. It's likely that a number of factors are involved as a result of fibromyalgia. And one of the symptoms are increased sensitivity to pain, muscle stiffness, difficulty sleeping, fatigue, and feeling frustrated, worried, or sense of mood. Sometimes you also have difficulty remembering things. So it's quite a complicated condition. So you have to learn to manage living with chronic illness of one type or the other, whether it's one, whether it's two. You need to know how to manage so that you can be more productive and have a positive mindset in society. In managing your chronic illness, there are certain steps I think you need to take, which has worked for me. First of all, you need to accept that you have a living with a chronic condition. A lot of us live in denial. I'm not going to recognize it. I'm not going to go to the doctor. I'm not going to take pain meds. Accept that you have it so that you know what to do at the end of the day. When you're living with a chronic illness of any kind, even if you get the report that you have cancer, a lot of us go through the stages of grief, which the first one is denial. We deny that the thing exists, that we have lost our ability to be productive at that point in time. Our reality has shifted completely, and it can take our minds time to adjust to the new reality that you're living with this kind of condition. The next stage is anger. That second stage, you're angry at your new reality, that why is God doing this to me? What have I done? Why would I get this? I've been so good. I didn't do anything. Or you keep questioning your situation. You get angry at the people around you, thinking in one way they are the cause of the problem. So you are emotionally challenged and you have a great extreme emotional discomfort in trying to understand why you're in this position. Then after you settle that one, you go into the bargaining stage. You bargain with God that if I can do this, maybe you take it away. You agree to do something in return for being relieved of the pain that you feel. You often direct our request to a higher power, which is God, or something bigger than us that may be able to influence a different outcome. So you're always in that space where asking God, why me? Okay, God, if I do this, if I walk in church, if I small on my prayer life, you give all sorts of bargain to God to take this pain away at that point in time. And then finally you go into stage of depression. We start to feel loss of not being able to go and do things. I remember when I was going to start using a wheelchair, because I'm an active person, I went to a state of depression. I was having that feeling of loss, the loss of not being able to move around in a society where it's not disability friendly, the loss of not connecting with friends more, the loss of not being able to go to work as I used to easily. And so you go into some form of depression and you panic that is this the end of my life? Panic begins to subside, the emotional fog begins to clear, and whether it's loss of your ability to move about, or you're laying in bed all day, it becomes present and unavoidable. And this is where you now have to be strategic and intentional to think, okay, I'm stuck in this position, but what can I do about it? What can I do about it to make me more active, to make me more productive? Then we'll finally get to the last stage, which is acceptance. We come to a place of acceptance. It is not that we no longer feel the pain of or at all. We are no longer resisting the reality of the pain. We begin to accept, okay, there is this pain. When it comes, what do I do? When it comes, how do I still function in the midst of the pain? And we are not struggling to make it something, but we're focusing on the fact that, okay, I'm living with this, I'm having this pain at this present point in time. Do I rest? Do I take medication? Do I do breathing exercise? Do I relax and go to a spa to get a massage? What do I do at that point in time? These are the things you need to think about when you get to a space of acceptance of the pain or the whatever you're going through in that particular time. Then you need to know who you are and what your illness about. A lot of us, we just, oh, I have this sickle cell, I have this, I have that, but we don't know much about it. You need to go in. We have resources available that you can go into to research your condition. I remember when I was, even before I was told that I had fibromyalgia, I suspected it and I went to do some research on the symptoms. And when I ticked the boxes, I realized, okay, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. I realized that is likely what it was going to be. So when it was confirmed by a medical professional, I now went deeper into finding what I can do, what are the lifestyles I need to change to be able to reduce the pain. Because if 24 hours pain continuously, I don't get a breather from it. So you have to take some medication. You have to do some lifestyle changes in your food and diet, So I had to learn all that. I had to research more about it. Where are the groups of people coming together who have fibromyalgia and have been working to make their lives better? So you need to do a lot of research, know who you are, know what triggers your crisis, know what triggers your pain, know what triggers whatever it is you're going through, and be able to say, okay, this is what it is. I need to know how to stop it from being triggered and reduce the effects. You may not reduce it completely, but you need to know that this is how I am, this is who I am. I understand that I go through these challenges, I go through this pain, I go through this period of isolation and an inability to function. So what do I do? How do I manage myself at that point in time? Then create a support system. Ecclesiastes 4:9-12 says, two are better than one because they have a good return in their labor, for their labor. It is either of them, if either of them falls down, one can help the other get up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if you two lie together, they will be kept warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves, and a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. So 2 or 3 or 4 or even 10 or 20 people coming together with like-minded issues. Support system is a system that does not pity you, but empathizes. They can imagine themselves in your shoes and know how to empathize with you. Pity will not work. Yeah, sorry. And person cannot amount to nothing. Oh, I'm so sorry for the person, So empathize with the person. And for family, they need to support and encourage that person, even in the midst of the pain they are going through. And it's important, if you don't have that family support system, to seek it, whether it's church, whether it's mosque, whether it's associations, whether it's NGOs with clubs of people living with the same type of chronic health condition. For me, the funny thing is in life is that for me, I sought to seek people who are not necessarily living with sickle cell, be friends with people who are regular, because I wanted to have a regular life. I wanted to see life outside of living with sickle cell. And I ensured that those people were a good support system for me in terms of they understood and empathized with my own chronic health condition and were there to support me. When I was in hospital, they were there to visit me. If you tend to flock together with people with the same chronic condition, there tends to be a sense of self-pity. That is a challenge. And you find out that you're so feeling sorry for yourself. Oh, why me? Woe is me. And then you not achieve anything in life. Another thing we should do is to build a connection with your medical personnel and medical care. It's very important. A lot of us, we don't understand our health. As I said, you should research. And then when you have, whether it's the nurse you're going to speak or the doctor, try and build a support system. It's always good if you have a doctor that you see regularly, the same doctor, because they understand your history. They're able to attend to you better. In Nigeria, it might be a bit difficult, especially in public hospitals, but in private hospitals, it's easier. But try and find a way of finding one doctor. It's still possible to be able to see you. You may have to wait a while to see that person, but once you book your appointment, you'll be able to see that person. That person understands you. Ensure that you update that doctor and that nurse on what you're going through on a regular basis so that your medical care will be right, so that when you fall sick, you get the right treatment. So it's very important we build a good connection with our healthcare personnel. Then create a mindset of gratitude. The Bible says in 1 Thessalonians 5:18, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Give thanks in all circumstances. When you're in pain, excruciating pain, be grateful. Try and see the positive in it. It might be difficult, but there are some people who are facing more challenges than you. I remember I saw there was a kid who had this skin disease that his skin was always peeling and really peeling, and his flesh was raw. They will have to put him in a bath of antiseptic to help soothe the pain. The guy was screaming as they were putting him. I couldn't imagine the pain. And you see the raw skin, pink flesh, as the thing is peeling. Somebody has a worse problem than you. So you should be grateful in all circumstances. Give thanks. Thanks to God. And it says it is the will of God concerning you that you be thankful, that you have a spirit of gratitude, a spirit of thanksgiving. So no matter what, sometimes even when I'm down and everything, I go into thankfulness and praise and worship, thanking God for circumstances. Even though I don't feel like it, I'll play some gospel music and just be dancing and thanking God. And sometimes at that point in time, you just see that your pain is not as bad as it was initially when it started. And then your mind becomes sterile of, what do I do? When I was talking about having a support system in terms of medical personnel, and then knowing your medical care. You need to know your medication, what you take and what triggers and all that stuff. So when you're in this space of thankfulness and positive attitude, you now say, okay, maybe I should go to hospital. You are able to think clearer into what processes you should do to reduce your pain. And then finally, you need to add value when it comes to managing your pain and everything. Go into a position of adding value to people's lives. making an impact, creating a difference. The thing about it is that when you help other people with the problem, you find that your own problem is not as bad as it is. So go out there and create a system where you empower other people, where you support other people through your own experience. Living with a chronic health condition, you can even meet other people who don't even know how to go through that process, who are depressed. You can encourage them, and you find that your own situation will be better. You are not limited by the circumstances, because I always say that you're not here for yourself, you're here for others. God did not bring you into this world to empower and yourself for nothing. It's because he wants you to bless others. It says in Matthew 5:14-16, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand and it gives light to everybody in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So let your light shine so that people will see. You will be surprised at how people will come and bless you. People will come and help you in your challenges. I have had that experience so many times where, because I started this NGO and I'm helping others, people have come to help me, come to bless me financially, emotionally, physically. They've come to help me and give me a support system that I did not think I would be able to have. So be a person who can add value to your environment. Don't just stay in the position of why me? Oh, my world has ended. I can't do this. I can't do that. There's things that you can do if you sit down and think about it. You may not be able to do the things, heavy things you used to do before, or the major things you used to do. But if you pace yourself properly, you will find that you can do it. You will find that it is possible to do it. You just need to understand what are your triggers, what are the remedies of those triggers, and how you can impact people on a regular basis. I remember when I was told that I was going to use a wheelchair, I had started analyzing, you can't go alone because the wheelchair is heavy. So I said, yes, you need somebody to be following you where you're going. You need to find out about the places you're going. Are they friendly? If they are not, is there some way you can get another help or get another support that can help you move around, whether it's hiring a car or whatever? Just find a way to be able to be active on a regular basis, so that in that activity, you can be able to bless others in your movement, be able to help others. Don't just stay in your place, having self-pity, thinking that you cannot do anything for yourself or for other people. Have a mindset that, oh, despite what I'm going through, I'm going to use my experience to help other people. There's a story about a lady called Songbird. She had cancer and she entered the America Got Talent, and she wrote an original song, which was basically telling people about looking at the positive, having a smile regardless of what you're going through. And if you see this lady, you will not believe that she had cancer, because she was so positive about her life. And she wrote this song and sang it, and it went viral. Even though she couldn't make American Idols because she passed away, she made an impact in a lot of people's life. The testimonies that came from her life, and her family also talked about how people reached out to them, people helped them in so many ways. So no matter what it is, I always use this analogy. Even Jesus, when he came to earth, he didn't live long. But we're always looking, oh no, I don't want to die early. Yes, nobody wants to die early. But at the same time, you shouldn't sit down and give up because something is going to happen to you. Make sure you have an impact in your environment. And in having an impact, I know you must have a life that is healthy. You must be able to have access to healthcare, which is one of the challenges we face. There are two ways that people go get access to healthcare. Either they pay out of pocket when they go to hospital, or they use health insurance. Now, paying out of pocket is not for everybody because healthcare, a lot of times you go to public health spaces where sometimes, even in private health spaces, you go to a private care center that doesn't have adequate support for people who are living with chronic health conditions. The doctors don't know how to handle it. and you get yourself into more trouble. So paying out of poverty can be really challenging because you don't have access to the best healthcare you can find. For people in low income, of course, the indigent people cannot afford it. They can't even afford to eat their square meals in a day, let alone pay for hospital bills, medication tests, and all that stuff. So they end up going to traditional healers or doing self-medication, which makes the matters worse, especially for their children. These are the things that we need to try and discourage and find ways that we can help them get access to good health care. Of course, there's another way, which is health insurance. Unfortunately for us, health insurance in this country does not adequately support people with pre-existing conditions. In fact, some say they don't take them on board. You go around from one to other asking for them to take people with, for example, sickle cell in our own case, and you find that they reject it. For those who don't reject it, you have high premium. You have to pay high premium to be able to be on their platform. So how many people in the low income sector can afford this? So that's why you find a lot of deaths, especially in sickle cell and people with pre-existing condition, low maternal mortality rate, and all that. So it's very important that we get our government to be able to make healthcare affordable. Healthcare is the most important thing in a country because you are targeting your human resources, the human resources of a nation. Without the human resource, you can't have a good nation building experience. The nation cannot grow. The nation cannot achieve its GDP and all that. It cannot be able to do that which is supposed to be to grow to be a nation that can compete with the best of the world. If your healthcare is poor, your human resource will be poor and your productivity in a nation will be poor. So it's very important that we can ask our government, what can we do to make healthcare affordable? Abroad, I know that for health insurance, they do pay a bit of a higher premium, but it's not as bad as where we are, where we don't even have any. And we are always chasing one health insurance to the other, trying to get the best care. It's not affordable for even for people in the rural areas. So we need that. In summary, always be intentional about your health care, no matter what. Find a strong support system that can help you with your health. Be intentional about taking care of it, and don't self-medicate. It's very important. Don't self-medicate. Go to the hospital, go to an NGO that can support you. Find resources that can help you be the best in your health. Also, remember to have a heart of gratitude. Remember that you should always be thankful to God for whatever situations you find yourself in, and impact your environment. Adding value makes you grow, makes you be a better person, makes you stronger. Adding value gives you a better perspective of your life. And at the end of the day, like Jesus did, you will be recognized for what you did, no matter what or what you are doing in Jesus' name. So I'll round up with this. No matter what you're going through, find a strong support system that will help you to rise above your situations, because together we rise, together we thrive. Till then, have a good day, and we'll see you on another episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this message to people around you for them to be blessed by it. Thank you and good day.